down and landing a high percentage. And unlike a lot of Mexican fighters, he uses that jab to advantage.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Marco Antonio Barrera Eddie Croft fight will be 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you can be saved by the bell only in the last round. Jim.
He rose to the occasion again, Harold. Let's go to Michael Buffer in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Caesar's Palace, by way of Spencer Promotions, your undisputed king of beers, Budweiser, and main events monitor, the action continues. This next bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, along with the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Barcarcel, supervisor in attendance at ringside, Luis Perez. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Lou Moret, Dolby Shirley, and Paul Smith. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Jay Nady. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the purple trunks with silver letters and weighing in at 121½ pounds. He comes to us from San Mateo, California, with a professional record of 22 victories, 10 by KO, with only 2 defeats and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, Eddie Primetime Croft. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with gold letters and weighing in at 122 pounds. From Mexico City, Mexico, he brings a perfect record of 38-0, 26 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the World, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Do you have any questions? Obey my commands. Defend yourself at all times. We have 12 rounds of boxing. Let's go to work.
Eddie Croft studied political science at a junior college in Northern California.
Okay.
Barrera wants to be a lawyer. What in the world is this sport coming to?
Eddie Croft became a boxer because Gil Clancy, frequently a colleague of ours on telecasts like this, in substitution for George, when George is training for fights, Gil Clancy walked into his martial arts gym in San Mateo one day to visit a friend, watched Croft in the ring and said he could be a boxer. Eddie was 15 at the time, and 10 years later, here's the product of Clancy's vision in there against Marco Antonio Barrera. Hard left hook to start the fight for Barrera. One of the first things you notice about Barrera is how relaxed he is in there. Up on his toes part of the time, but when he gets ready to punch, he settles down onto his feet and throws hard. Croft starting out very cautiously and trying to get a good look at Barrera. Barrera with another hard left hand, and that one landed flush. Body shot from Barrera. Get a sense of his patience as he picks his spots and looks for the right opportunities to get aggressive against Eddie Croft. Croft hasn't thrown much in this first round as he continues to wait on Barrera. Tries to stay away from Barrera's hard left hook, which has already found Croft twice. Croft goes body then up with his jab. Could be the beginning of something, but now Barrera comes right back with a left to the body and a right cross. When they get ready to trade punches, it appears that Barrera is the quicker man.
One thing I notice about Croft, he has that right hand poised to block the left at every opportunity. He's keeping it in and using it judiciously as an offensive weapon.
Barrera was a little short with the right cross, but he came back with the left hand and landed that. Now there's another good left to the body. And Marco Antonio Barrera, with the left hook and occasional combinations, has dominated this first round. And as we go to Barrera's corner, our translator there, as always, is Hector Garcia.
When you throw your right hand, just lift your, keep your hands up, and go with your right hand up and down in the bottom then. Set him up with your left hand. Set him up with your left hand. Prepare him with your left. Prepare him with your left hand, and then throw your right hand into the chest. With confidence. With confidence.
You gotta come out one side or the other, okay? And be ready to get off again. All right. Come on out.
It's very rare that we have heard corners of Mexican fighters talking that way, and that's why Barrera is considered such a complete fighter. Start with your left hand, he is told.
And as round two begins, we are joined at ringside by 135-pound world destroyer Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar looking forward to his December 15 date in Madison Square Garden. Welcome aboard, Oscar.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
What do you think of Marco Antonio Barrera?
Well, once again, we have a young, tough Mexican fighter up here, and he's a great prospect. He's a world champion now, and I believe he's going to be one of the best.
Been fighting a lot at the Forum in Los Angeles. Have you seen him before?
I've never seen him live, but I've always seen him on TV, and he's a very exciting, very flashy fighter with a lot of power.
Right now, Barrera starting the second round with a couple of fierce combinations, and Eddie Croft is reduced to playing defense at this point. It's awfully hard to find opportunities to be aggressive against a guy who's hurting you every time you open up the way Barrera does.
Well, I believe what's happening now is Eddie Croft is intimidated by Barrera's power. Once you step inside that ring, Barrera can look inside your eyes and just he can show you that he's very strong, and he's just going to go in there and try to knock you out. And Croft is right now scared of Barrera.
Croft not getting much of a chance to throw. Barrera hammering with the right hand there.
I would say that he's more respectful at the moment than scared, Oscar, but I know a fighter sees it a little differently.
Well, them punches hurt, and he can be nervous, he can be scared. Maybe he'll warm up in the later rounds, but I believe Barrera can just take him on because he's so powerful, young, and like I said, he's a very good prospect for the future.
You think he's ready for someone like Canizales with his experience?
I believe, truthfully, Canizales is a very good boxer, and if Barrera faces a boxer, I think he would have more trouble than facing these guys like Croft that stay still and don't move their body too much. Canizales can give trouble to Barrera because he does box and move side to side.
Oscar, what do you expect to see later this evening between Bowe and Holyfield?
Well, I can't say because, of course, Mr. Holyfield is an excellent heavyweight champion. Riddick Bowe, another one who's an excellent champion, and it's hard to say for me because they're both ready. They both want to win, and it's just going to be a very good fight. May the best man win.
Respectfully said, and properly so. George Foreman, what do you make so far, Barrera and Croft?
Yeah, you tell a young boy to go into the gym and you give him some films to study boxing. Barrera, you get a film of Barrera. This guy's a picture book, excellent. Left hook, right cross, does it all right by the book.
Has the kind of punching technique that we see when we have Oscar De La Hoya in the ring.
Oscar writes another book.
Another rousing round for Marco Antonio Barrera. And quickly now, let's check in with Roy Jones. Roy reporting from the locker rooms, the dressing rooms, I should say, as we get ready for the main event. And Roy Jones, I understand you have a report about referee Joe Cortez. What's up?
Yeah, Joe Cortez was warned by Evander Holyfield about the problem of Riddick Bowe hitting him on the back of the head. Now, I don't know if this is a show of concern about his health because guys are being injured from rabbit punches, or is it just him kind of over-worrying about Riddick Bowe coming out doing bad tactics? But whatever, we should find out early which direction that is leaning to, because most guys that show concern either show it for their care, worrying about something bad happening to them or injury, or could be just a little bit nervousness of Bowe being over anxious to win. So I don't know, but we'll see.
Hey, Roy, let me ask you something. Holyfield and the people in his camp have been trying to get into Cortez's head about this low blow rabbit punch issue from the first fight. Do you think that might backfire against them the way they've gone after Cortez?
Yeah, I think it will, because since they're going after Cortez so hard, this may make Cortez say, look, I'm just going to back out and let them fight, and whatever happens, happens. And this would be bad for both fighters, because you don't want the fight to turn into a dirty fight. They're too good of fighters to turn into a bad fight.
All right, thank you very much, Roy Jones, super middleweight champ, acting as reporter tonight and doing a heck of a job of it so far. We go back to the ring, third round. Marco Antonio Barrera in the white trunks and Eddie Croft in the blue. Or purple. I guess I should say purple. Croft getting a little bit more aggressive now in round 3 as he realizes he's not going to get anything done against Barrera by being as cautious as he was in the first 2. Don't know if it's in Croft to be able to make up for all of this, but it seems to me that he's unlikely to win a boxing match with Barrera. He might have to do something unconventional, George.
Barrera's got to be asking himself, why isn't this guy on the canvas now? And that may be a major concern with him too. So you start thinking, and you start hearing a footstep in the dark too. You start thinking, is this guy wrong? I can't hurt him. I better conserve myself.
Croft taking some hard shots here, as he has throughout the first 3 rounds. Barrera with more left hooks. Left hook to the body is one of his most effective blows, and now Eddie Croft's right eye is beginning to close, and that damage can be attributed to both the jab and the left hook of Marco Antonio Barrera. Incidentally, the word Tapia on the back of Barrera's trunks has nothing to do with Albuquerque, New Mexico fighter Johnny Tapia. That's Barrera's mother's maiden name, Tapia. So he honors her by putting it on the back of his trunks.
My God, he's not only wants to be a lawyer, he's sensitive and politically correct.
Body shots by Barrera after Croft landed a straight right. It's one of his better blows so far, and a left-right combination punctuates the round for Barrera, who's having a pretty easy time of it so far against a very game Eddie Croft. Aerial view of the outdoor ring at Caesar's Palace, scene of so much boxing history over the course of the past 2 decades, and a full house here tonight in anticipation of Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe.
Hey, this guy is backing up. Eddie, when you come forward with the jab, the guy backs up, okay? And he's just trying to wait for you. Right. You come with the jab, you're close. Throw that short stuff at him, okay? You throw that right hand followed by a left hook.
Thank you.
You're getting there and you're not doing anything, man, okay? Don't give this guy so much respect.
Right.
Okay? You let him respect you. Now you throw them punches. You can throw hard.
Hey, punch right off the face.
Okay. Yeah, aquí tirando tu range con remates arriba. Y vivo con la guardia arriba.
Along about now, I think Eddie Croft has got to start thinking about turning to a little kickboxing. He might need a third appendage in order to even things up with this remarkable young athlete.
Use the three and you get it. Use that jab to get there. Use the jab to get there. Move the head, Eddie. There you go.
Round 4, and you heard the folks in Croft's corner saying, don't pay this guy so much respect. Easy for them to say. They're not the ones whose eyes are swelling shut.
Oscar was right. Early on, this guy was scared. Now he's courage, this guy. He's gotten his courage now. He can make a fight out of this. You get a guy scared, keep him scared. Barrera didn't do that.
So you're suggesting, George, that Barrera might have shown a little bit more killer instinct in the first 2 rounds?
Yeah, once the guy was frightened for a while, and now he's got his courage up, and he has an excellent defense. He's catching a lot of those hard blows now. Catching them with the tip of his glove and his elbow.
Short right hand by Barrera as Croft was coming in, but in point of fact, as George Foreman said, Croft is blocking more punches now. He got a piece of that one with his left arm. Croft, who backed up through all of the first 2 rounds, listening to his corner and beginning to go forward now. What can it do to a puncher like Barrera when a guy bears in forward on him, Oscar?
Well, one thing now that's happening is Croft is making Barrera move back, which is very surprising because Barrera was making the fight the first few rounds, and now Croft is showing that he is a courage fighter and that he is going to show some hard work in there. And I believe right now Barrera is getting hit now by some punches from Croft, and it's just giving more confidence to Croft, which can change the fight in the later rounds.
Croft's last fight in May was a loss to Tom Boom Boom Johnson. He went the distance against Johnson, who's a world-class fighter.
A featherweight champion.
Nothing low.
Barrera got in a low one, and referee Jay Nady says, no, bring him up. Good warning. That one was right on the borderline. And as Croft has moved forward, Barrera is losing some of his sharpness. Texture of this fight changing slightly as round 4 comes to a close. And now let's check in with another of our reporters, Frank DeFord. Frank?
Well, Jim, as you can see, we're giving you the weather as well as sports tonight, and a warm front has just come through here. But in most of Las Vegas, it's still pretty chilly. And as you can see from the thermometer that Trish is holding, is down to about 55 and could go a lot lower. When Duran and Leonard fought here a few years ago, it was as low as 46. A lot of people come dressed more for a cotillion than for a sports event. But the real problem, of course, will be for Evander Holyfield, who has back spasms. He'll be wearing an insulated robe, and he'll be carrying heating pads and doing the best that he can to ward off what is becoming a very chilly, cloudless night. But I'm doing better than anybody else. So goodbye, guys.
Well, that's visibly apparent, Frank. And there's the temperature at ringside, where we are under a cover and under the lights. And therefore, as you can see, it's about 7 or 8 degrees warmer in the ring than over where Frank was standing.
The mayor of Las Vegas is Pam Jones. I don't think that was her.
No. Frank said that young lady's name was Tricia.
Oh, well, now I know it wasn't her.
They've been introduced.
Harold Letterman, give us your score through 4 rounds.
Okay, Larry, I got it 40-36, 4 rounds to nothing. Marco Antonio Barrera. I think this kid with that left hook is terrific. And notice that step to the side. It's a beautiful move. It really is. It's nice ring generalship. Eddie Croft came forward really nice in the 3rd round, but still enough Barrera's out punching him. 40-36, Barrera.
Straight right hand against the ropes is the best punch landed in the fight so far by Eddie Croft. And Barrera seems befuddled by Croft's new aggression. And George Foreman, Barrera is going to have to re-seize the momentum here if he's going to get back to where he was in rounds 1 and 2.
Croft has got so much courage. If he only had the power to go along with the courage, he would really do something tonight. He's got the courage.
Eddie Croft determined to make a good showing tonight. Low blow by Barrera might have hurt Croft. Jay Nady didn't see it, and now Barrera takes advantage as he pounds away against the ropes. Eddie Croft wobbly, losing his legs and trying to hold on. Now Croft seems to have regained his balance, but Barrera has for the moment become the aggressor again.
It was almost as if Barrera had been playing wait and see or possum for a while before he unleashed that awesome barrage.
Round 5, Marco Antonio Barrera in white, Eddie Lee Croft in the purple. First 2 rounds belong completely to Barrera. Croft has stepped up his level of aggression since then and made it much more of a battle. Barrera going back to body punching in this round to try to generate some of the momentum he had in the first 2.
Boy, that's some of the most fearsome body punching I've seen this side of Julio Cesar Chavez.
Okay, baby.
Thanks, Delby.
I got you.
Where's that mouthpiece?
Right here.
I need another water. Where's another water?
There's 2 low blow warnings on Barrera. The next one's a penalty.
You got to do what's working. You're abandoning.
Eddie, you're standing in front of him, and you're letting him throw 3, 4, 5 punches. Okay? You got to use that jab. You got to throw the right hand too. Okay?
All right, let's take a look at that sequence of punches. A low blow began it, and the referee was not in a position to see it. And how much Croft was affected, we don't know, but Barrera certainly followed up and took advantage of it.
What do you think, George? Was the low blow a big factor in setting up that rally?
I don't think it was actually low. They have a cup. At that point, there's a cup to protect them. That shot was probably on the tip of that cup.
Because it was right in the middle?
But you're not supposed to hit there anyway.
It looks to me like he hit him right at prime time there on his trunks.
Well, the cup is in prime time.
Keep him up, Eddie. Keep him up, Eddie.
Round 6 between Croft and Barrera. And Eddie Croft continues gradually to warm to the task against the technically superior Barrera.
Yeah, and Barrera threw a new one in there, a beautiful right uppercut in close.
Nothing low.
A very sophisticated 21-year-old prize fighter.
The baby-faced assassin.
You got to do it.
And I notice now, Jim, that Flip Pomansky, the commission doctor here, is watching this very closely because Croft is starting to get busted up a little, is taking a lot of punishment, is showing his courage, and they want to keep an eye on that.
And Pomansky is seated over in Croft's corner. It's not a good sign for a fighter when Homansky is seated in your corner. But Eddie Croft continues to become more aggressive than he was earlier. There's a left hook that lands flush. Again, one of his better punches of the fight. Barrera comes back with a 4-punch combination and a left hook. Barrera has dispensed with the body punching to a certain degree in this round. It was his basic staple in round 5. Here he's landing straight hard shots to the head and trying to set up a finish. Croft stunned by the right hand and now driven into the ropes by another. How much of this does Jay Nady want to watch? Now Croft begins to throw back. He's got to do that to keep himself in the fight. Barrera again shows patience. Too much patience, George?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it's seldom you see a young fighter takes his time, assess your damage, start again. This guy Barrera has got the stuff.
The right and the left stuff, George.
Good balance and a good left hook to the body by Barrera. And another good left hook to the body. And 2 more. The last minute of the round, Barrera going back to the thing that has worked best for him in the fight, left hooks to the body. And a flurry to finish the 6th round as Barrera has gotten back into a position of dominating this fight the way he did in the first 2 stanzas.
And Flip Homansky is going into the ring to look at Croft. This is the kind of fight in which it's one-sided. Croft doesn't appear to have any chance to hurt Barrera, in which you've got to think of a different standard of stopping the fight than you would some other fights.
We okay?
This is early in the round. Barrera landed a wonderful combination, wonderful from his point of view, not from Croft's, on the ropes, but Croft is dead game. Quick right hand, digging that left to the body.
Don't win this round yet. You'll have to stop it.
And this is how the round finished. I have a hunch that the referee has been told that he can stop this fight anytime, which is the proper way. Even though Croft is fighting back, we have seen that the game fighter is the one who can really get hurt in this kind of a situation.
And punch stat numbers show that in round 6, Barrera landed 44 of 60 power shots. Those are forbidding statistics for Eddie Croft at this moment. Croft responding now as referee Jay Nady told his corner, if he doesn't fight back in this round, I'll have to stop it. 7th round. Scheduled for 12. Meanwhile, our interpreter Hector Garcia tells us that something is bothering Barrera. That much he could pick up from the conversation in Barrera's corner between rounds, but we're not sure exactly what it is that's bothering him. Something physically. Small injury perhaps, but right now Barrera pays no attention to any injury. He's just trying to finish the fight. He's got Croft in trouble, and a stoppage here would not be unjustified. Croft fighting back there.
See, there's the problem. The standard for stopping a fight is if the other guy isn't punching back. The problem here is it doesn't make any difference if he punches back. He's absorbing too much punishment.
Because as brave as Croft is, and as game a fighter as he'll show himself to be, he doesn't have the power to hurt Barrera, George.
Which is evident.
And that's enough. A technical knockout in the 7th round.
That's a good start, Eddie. All right.
And the 39th consecutive win for the 21-year-old baby-faced assassin, Marco Antonio Barrera from Mexico City.
Turn him around.
The victory for Barrera is his 5th in 1995.
Let's watch this prodigy at work. The best little fighters in the world come from Mexico, in my judgment. And right now, this kid may be the best of the best. He can fight. He was patient where patience was required. He didn't get excited when Croft came onto him and drove him back for a while. He's got the complete package, it looks like. And this is the end where the Nevada officials, having gone to school on the tragedy of Jimmy Diaz last May.
Jimmy Garcia.
I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me, Jim. Jimmy Garcia stopped this fight when they should have.
So Barrera celebrates there, and let's go to the ring for the particulars from Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jay Nady calls a halt to this contest at 38 seconds of round number 7. The winner by TKO victory, his record now 39-0, 27 KOs. He is still the undefeated WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the World, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Barrera, as you heard there, is the WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the World. It's a title that we don't recognize as an official world championship here on TVKO, but it's one small symptom of the alphabet mentality which plagues and dominates the sport. We'll have more on that in just a moment. Believe me, if we wanted to mine the benefit of all of those alphabet world championships, we'd be telling you every 20 seconds that Oscar De La Hoya is the WBO world lightweight champion. But we think his accomplishments in the ring speak for themselves. That's our position. Let's go to Frank DeFord.
Well, Jim, the other day, and this is very relative to what you were just saying, a guy by the name of Bruce